organ?
Liver.
Identify the organ.
Gallbladder.
Identify the organ peeking out. Stomach. Identify this organ, just generic. Large intestine, all in this dark brown. Identify this organ. Small intestine. Okay, so now we're going to take this organ out right here, the liver, and so that we can better see this organ. Identify the organ. Stomach. Notice how you can just see it peeking out like that. That's what it's going to look like in our cats. That's what it's going to look like in your human patient. MRIs and CAT scans and things. It's just that little sliver right there. What's this organ peeking out over here? Not part of the digestive, but peeking out is the spleen. Okay, now if I take out the sliver again, and remember hanging over here is the greater omentum off of the stomach. If I pick this up like that, what do I see peeking under there?
Pancreas.
The pancreas attached there to that spleen. Okay, and then over here, if I take out, let's see, now let's go into a few details. So now if I look at this organ right here, identify this region of the stomach. This is the cardia, and then this part where it's dome-shaped, this region, that is the fundus. This region right here is the body, and then where it narrows right here is the pyloric region. And then from here, what does the stomach become? What does it turn into?
Small intestine.
The duodenum or duodenum. And so we see a little piece of that. If we lift up this, we can kind of see that over here. If we take up that piece, there's that first part of the small intestine. What's this organ?
Pancreas.
Pancreas. What's this organ? Spleen. What's this structure?
Pancreatic.
Main pancreatic duct. The main pancreatic duct. Okay. And then if we go back to the stomach, identify this structure right here. Greater curvature. And if I look at this structure right here, lesser curvature. And then if I open this up, identify these folds, rugae. And if I open up and I say identify this structure right here, that would be the pyloric sphincter. And then one other structure that you're going to need to identify is shown nicely on this model, and those are the layers of the stomach. So if we look at this right here, we see this layer. It's a little bit hard to see even if I put it on the camera. Can you see the fibers all going this way? That would represent the longitudinal layer right here. And then can you see this layer right here? Inside of that, going around in a circle, circular layer. And then these that are going at an angle, that would be the oblique layer. What would this be over here? Longitudinal, this layer right here, circular, and this one would be the oblique layer. Very good. And then what would be this structure right here? The pyloric sphincter. And this region? Pylorus. And these folds on the inside? Rugae. Rugae. Just kind of think of reggae. Not reggae. Rugae. All right? Okay, so good on that. And then over here, identify the organ. Pancreas. This structure right here? Main pancreatic duct. And what about this one off to the side? Accessory pancreatic duct. And then right here, where that duct is, where they're all coming together, you can't see it very well on that one. Let me get one other model. Right here in this model, identify this organ, liver. Identify this organ. Can you see what this represents? Gallbladder with gallstones in it, blocking that duct. And then can you recognize this organ? Pancreas, and this one right here? Duodenum. Okay, so see where the bile duct and the main pancreatic duct are coming together? That swelling, that region would be called the hepatopancreatic ampulla is the swelling, and the sphincter is called the hepatopancreatic sphincter. Okay? And then if we look at this model here, this is a nice one for asking the ducts. See, coming from the right side, this would be the right hepatic duct. This would be, I'm sorry, not that one, this one. This would be the right hepatic duct. This would be the left. And where the two of them come together, just this little piece here, common hepatic. This one coming from the gallbladder would be the cystic duct. Where it merges right here would be the common bile duct, coming all the way over here, dumping the bile in. Okay? So, that's that one. On this, identify the organ, identify the lobe, right lobe, left lobe. Remembering GQ, identify this lobe, quadrate. There's the gallbladder, this is the quadrate, Q. And then this one over here, see where the inferior vena cava is? This would be the caudate. Very good. And then identify this, the organ this is from? Liver. Identify each of these structures right here. These are, I'm sorry? Hepatic lobules. Hepatic lobules. These are hepatic lobes. These are within this liver, hepatic lobules, the structural and functional units. What do I call these purple circles in the middle? Central veins. They're central veins. And then here's a blow up. So see the purple central vein in the middle. What do I call these cells right here? That would be hepatocytes. What do I call these spaces here? Hepatic sinusoids. And then can you see the triad? What would this one be? A branch of the hepatic, of the bile duct, hepatic bile duct. What would this purple one be? A branch of the hepatic portal vein. And the red one? A branch of the hepatic artery. And then, what else? Oh, okay. The 4 layers of the digestive tract. This model is pretty neat. There's kind of a version of it, you know, different version of it maybe in the at each campus. But I love this one because what it's showing you is the 4 major layers and their sub-layers of the digestive tract. So this first piece is trying to show you a piece of the esophagus. This is trying to show you a piece of the stomach. This is trying to show you a piece of the small intestine, and this is a piece of the large intestine. Okay? This is the lumen where the food is passing through. And so this layer, the innermost layer, shown here in pink and white and red, these 3 sublayers together make up the first, which is the mucosa. Under the mucosa, shown in white, is the submucosa. And then here shown in red is the muscularis externa. And then shown in white is the serosa. So it's just showing you how it changes along. So in the esophagus, notice that we have hills and valleys. What kind of epithelium do we have? That would be the stratified, squamous, non-keratinized. Okay, so this would be the epithelium right here. This would be the areolar layer, and then this would right here would be the what we call the lamina propria. Excuse me, I was trying to think of the name, could escape for a second. And then this thin layer of muscle would be the muscularis mucosa. All 3 of these together, these are all called mucosa. Epithelium, lamina propria, muscularis mucosa. Then under that is our submucosa, and then our muscularis externa, and then the serosa or adventitia. Since this is the esophagus, it would be, if it's not in the abdominal cavity, what is it called? Adventitia. 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 All right. And then right here, this represents a section of the stomach right here. This represents the small intestine. What should I call these finger-like structures right there? Those are villi. Those are villi. Okay. And so those of you, I know, just take it one day at a time. One day at a time, and try to go through your notes as best as you can. Okay, so that's this model that we have right here. And then anything else? Is that it? Oh, visceral peritoneum. Identify this membrane here on the surface of this or any of these. Identify the membrane on here. Visceral peritoneum, or we can also call it serosa, right? And then over here, what do we call this